Alright, folks, let's get back to playing Stellaris. I'm Luther, and today we're going to mainly focus on expanding our view a little bit here. I want to take a look around where our empire is actually uh, going as far as strategic layout. So for that, we're going to want to get some science vessels moving around. That's an interesting position for you to be in. We're going to get some science vessels moving around. We want to explore here, we want to explore here, and we want to start seeing what the limits are without really worrying about what's inside those systems. So, in the name of that, let's get our science ship set. We can leave that be for now. You are set to explore here. You should be set to explore here. Yep. And you are doing archaeology. And you are an archaeologist, which makes that faster, so that's perfectly fine. This is coming up. Is this ship set to actually colonize, or is it just orbiting? It is just orbiting. All right, there we go. That will get another planet
Establishing colony
on the way. This one will be an 80% habitability, which is a lot better than the 60. Also, wow, another 20% from research, this time physics, plus 2 researcher jobs. Excuse me. Building cost and district cost minus 25. Size 16, and honestly pretty average, but this will make a decent tech world too, if we want to do that with it. There's not a lot of resource districts going on here, and we do have a ruined arcology, which will just give us, it looks like, in some artifacts. No tech bonus off of that. 3 more mining districts for a total of 4, 2 more ag districts for a total of 6. And we could rural world this, but it's probably going to end up being industrial or science. Oh, autosave set me back a little bit. Okay, well, here we are again. Now you can actually see the entire thing. So the effects of study them, harvest them, and see if it's useful. That's going to take this planet and change it from 6 districts to 12 districts. Those districts are going to make plus 30% food, and we're going to get some Titan Hunter jobs every once in a while, which, free jobs.
situation log updated.
I'll be interested to see what the repercussions are.
Alert. Spaceborne life form encountered.
All right, so that's what we're worried about. Right here, we've discovered aliens. Aliens could be good, aliens could be bad. We'll have to make first contact. Our envoys don't have any specific skills. They just take up a slot, and we have a limited number of them. So we assign one here. He'll start doing his thing, and we'll get updates. 1,000 fleet power. Ah, okay, so these are going to end up being harmless. These are Tiaki, I believe. Yeah, they're just space cattle. You don't really use them for anything. There are a few missions and a few policies related to them, especially in the Galactic Council, but it's mostly storytelling stuff, in my opinion. This planet has 1 job open, but we only have 2 more coming up, so that'll be fine. This says build its 2nd population. We'll have another in 20 months. It's another couple of years. We can lay in resources for a bit before we start to do anything with that, I suppose. We have another planet here. It's another Savannah world, so that's our 2nd guaranteed habitable. We'll want to grab that. For that, I'm going to grab another science ship and a colony ship. The colony ship will be early, but better early than late. From here, let's just explore out to here and see what we find. Let's see, next choke point's here. Let's see what we find. Tropical world. That'll be pretty bad habitability for us, 20%, but it can be terraformed later. Archaeology event means we've started the dig down here. Archaeology events, like First Contact, are kind of more story-based and time waiting events. You get a difficulty, and then your character, based on their level, if they're an envoy, I don't know where that comes from, gets a skill bonus. And if they roll a certain number, they get a clue. If they roll a bigger number, they get multiple clues. And then there's a certain threshold to win. Result of 14 or greater finishes the chapter. So all added together, that's how that works. There's some decent stories in this stuff, but we're not going to be reading them this time.
New technology discovered.
Abandoned gateway. The gateways are like stable wormholes that only have a single entry and exit path. They'll be mid-game stuff. Genetic healthcare is the one that I've been really looking for past the pop growth. Gene clinics go on every planet. They increase our pop speed growth significantly, as well as habitability. Not by a lot, by just 5%. But again, this is about small things adding up. 2 years and we can start building those. That'll be enough to get them on all 3 planets pretty quickly. That'll be great. Okay, this loops back in. We can either look this way, which we're going to do really quick. But then we want to double back and see what's around here. If we can create a bottleneck here and here or here, I'm okay with it. It's kind of a smallish section for an empire, but it will at least get our initial sector all taken care of. I've been pinned in my last few starts, so I'm a little cautious. Minus 500 energy, 100 influence, and gain 400 unity. Or add some sprawling nonsense to our colony. Let's add it to our colony. We can take care of that over time rather than worrying about spending any influence, which is what we use to grab star bases and way more important. Arctic world size 25. That'll be big when we can terraform it. All right, so those new features show up in here, and the industrial wasteland and the sprawling sum. They're going to cost us a total of 600 energy and 240 days to get rid of. No big deal.
New technology discovered.
Minerals from mines. Every one of the tech trees has a basic associated basic resource with it. Physics, you can get plus 20% to your power generation, your energy. Society is about food. And you might be surprising, but engineering is about minerals. So we finished off the first mineral upgrade. I'm going to go ahead and grab exoskeleton now. The 5% from worker pop resources. It's not a lot at the start, but it's a percentage, so it grows exponentially with your number of pops, and pops are king, and we're doing our best to grow them fast.
Locker removed.
Starbase influence cost minus 10. Okay, excellent. We've got another science ship up. We can get him. Ah, right, we just got a tradition, so we're going to be short on unity for a few months. In that case, let's send him here. And here. I'm going to send him. Once he's there, I'm going to send him back to survey and survey. We're going to take this guy who's not doing anything. Build mining stations. We need to get this guy going.
Locker removed. Initiating evasive maneuvers.
All right, more aliens. These are different. These are going to be These are going to be mining drones. Pretty typical early game hostile. Kind of what I've been waiting on to dedicate any amount of resources to my fleet is to find out what we're facing up against here nearby. Um, Unlike the Tinyaki, who are just kind of space cows, the mining drones are evil. We can't see them anymore, and we can't tell that this is actually them, but I've seen this enough to know that this is probably them. The thing with mining drones is they use exclusively lasers, and they use exclusively armor. They do not have shields, so we can take advantage of that. We go into ship design, and we can see all the classes of ships we have, what they're going to cost, what the ship stats are, etc. First thing we want to do, auto-generate designs, turn that off. Can't recommend it lowly enough, it just makes mistakes. Interceptor is a good one if you end up on picket ship. This is a disaster, change off of it. Picket slots, I don't know, there might be a case for them, but it's certainly not until at least the mid-game. Alright, so we know we're going up against drones first. And against drones, we're going to want lasers. That's because lasers do 50% less damage against shields, but 50% more against armor and 25% more against hull. These drones, they just have lasers and armor, so that'll cut through them pretty quick. On the other hand, for our defenses, they just have lasers. So let's dedicate the majority of our deflector our power to deflectors. You see that our power is now 0. We'll add a level of armor on here. This is extra power, not useful here. And so for 100 alloys, we're going to get a Corvette that be pretty good at taking down our first little enemies here. Alright, ship is designed. Let's go into Fleet Manager. Good, kept the same ship name. We're going to pop this up to a total of 10. Looks like we could all go all the way on this, so why not? Reinforce all. Our first proper fleet. Having a fleet online when we make first contact will make things a lot less hectic. I tend to be a bit of a turtle player, and that's a problem when you run into early game AIs and you still have nothing but the starting fleet because you didn't run into any aggressive early problems. Yeah, it's just bad play and a bad habit. So let's get our fleet up. As you can see, they build pretty quickly. They'll come up here, and then we'll move them down to take care of our issue. On our planets, let's see. Ah, right, that's where we got that random tech from earlier as we cleared one of our ruined arcologies. Okay, so we are at the stage where we can do that. We're still losing power a little bit, but not a whole lot. Everything else is doing pretty minimal, which is kind of where I want it, really. Alloys 41 a month at 9 years into the game. It's not fantastic. It's not terrible. I'll take it. We've got 2 jobs, 9 housing. Let's clear another arcology and see what we get out of that. You have 0 people, 0 housing. Eventually this is going to be tech world and food world, and anything left over can go into generators still. But for now, we're going to need some housing and we're going to need some jobs. City districts create 5 housing, which is more than the other districts. They create 2. And they create 1 job, which is, you might be surprised, less than the other ones. This one creates artisan and metallurgist jobs, technician jobs, mining jobs, farmer jobs. They do what you think they do. But the specific details can always be read here, and it does account for multipliers when doing this. So if you've got a plus 30% to goods produced, it will show it here. You don't have to drag out the pen and paper, the spreadsheet, the calculator, the whole to-do. Let's just get 2 cities up here real quick. That'll give us 2 more jobs, and it'll give us a lot more housing to work with. We can put a gene clinic down here when it comes up. If we find the other building we're looking for, we can stick it here, and then we'll put our 3rd building here, and it's almost always the same thing as well, but we'll get to that soon. All right, we've got way more than enough harmony to get this going. There were no good anomaly-based or exploration-based guys there, so I'm just going to take a guy. I'm going to set him to survey these two systems real quick. We'll get him in position to build a starbase here, here, and then here. And we'll get our colony ship moving out to here.
Blocker removed.
Automated exploration protocols. That should be survey speed, I believe. That
New
used to be the thing
technology
that allowed
discovered.
you to even
New
use the automatic
technology
survey
discovered.
button, but that seems to be available by default now, thankfully. It's a little bit ridiculous, but what are you going to do? For blockers, you get most of your blocker clearing in the society technology. You can hover over this right here, and you can see how many of those you currently have on your colonies, all your worlds, so you can see how useful they are. I'm going to go ahead and just go for food plus 20%. It's straight up plus money. The other option here is planetary unification. It grants a lump sum of unity. I think it's like 6 months, basically the same as the presidential promise. But monthly unity plus 5 is also fantastic. This is another very useful one. I guess we're good on food. Let's go for unity. Mining subsidies. Robots. This is the other building we want. Robot assembly plants. This will allow us to get population really cooking. Always assign a leader here. The leaders have enough of an effect to make a difference. Ships with weapon range 20% isn't great. Fire rate 5%, sublight speed 20%, or 10%. He'll get along the Empire faster and he'll do more damage. Huzzah. Let's send these guys over here and see if they're biting off more than they can chew. In the meantime, this guy hasn't done much. This is a dead end, so we need to look at this.
Evading hostiles.
Okay. Wow. That's bad. Well, I think this is just more mining drones, but that is a lot of them. You can see from the fleet power over here, 4K, 24K, that's not mining drones. That is, that might be space Mongols. Yeah, yeah, space Mongols are a thing in this game. Who knew? All right, this guy is already done with archaeology. That doesn't seem right.
Comms initiated.
All right, so we've finished our first contact with the Teriyaki. Like I said, they're just placid space giants. Nothing to worry about. And finally, oh
Detected.
boy, this little spam right here is our factions founding. A few years into the game, your society will break up into various factions based on your governing ethics. Ours are xenophobic, militarist, and materialist. So we should see xenophobic, materialist, and warlike um, factions. Scientists, Association of Technologists, okay, pretty obvious. Uh, this will be our Zikrapan Purity Movement. Yep, they're going to be our xenophobes. And Knights of the Void. It sounds militaristic to me. So it takes a couple seconds, but those fill up with all your pops as they choose which side they're on. And then you get harmony based on how happy they are with what you're doing. You click on them and bring up this screen, the faction screen, which is also right here. These little dots are a quick way to see if you could do anything to really make them happier. Right now, the militarist faction is unhappy because we have low naval capacity usage. They consider low anything under 80%, might be 90. So building 10 more ships would make them happy. Might make me happy. We'll try it. That'll get us a little bit more unity out of them. These guys are, well, it doesn't get much happier than that. They just love our aggressive first contact protocols. And our technologists don't have really many opinions on things, so don't worry about this approval number too much. Worry about these dots. If you can do something about the dots, do it. If you can't, you'll be okay. But making all the dots green makes the harmony number go up, which makes the traditions come faster, which gives you the ascensions perks faster, and I can see how you that. I'm sure you can see how that all works out.
Anomaly detected.
This is surveyed. We're going to set him to survey, and then we're going to set him to move. Again, we're using shift to issue multiple commands at the same time. On factor, invest in securing the situation. The odd factory is just something you seem to deal with on every run, and I should know how to just click the buttons past it by now, but sometimes I still have to read. Terraforming candidate. Dismal frozen world. So you can get climate restoration, and these will show up in yet another world color. This time it'll be white, and you can terraform them into something usable. Shorthand for the game is red means low habitability, green means good habitability, yellow means middling, and white means terraformable. And only terraformable. As far as I know, you can't even land robots on ice or toxic worlds. Yep. Yep. There they are. Just before our guys get there, thankfully, so we can turn them around. Because those... yeah. Those are space Mongols. Space Mongols can do a few things. You can hire them to go raiding somebody. Sometimes that works out. You can hire a leader, admirals, and I don't know if they provide generals. I think it's just admirals. You can yell at them for no reason, because roleplay, and you can not talk to them, which is what we're mostly going to be doing. They already own this space, so we're going to want to explore around this way. We'll get our ship back and moving once it recovers. When's it reappearing? 5 months. When a ship goes into combat and has to emergency FTL out, it will return to its home base. And I haven't updated any of the home bases for our science ships because we've only got one base. So they will all go back here, and however long it would take them to get here on the map is how long they will be disappeared for before they show back up at home base.
System surveyed.
All right. System surveyed. Build. Move. You. I'm putting on automatic survey so we can just start moving this along. This guy should be back in just a second. All right. Let's set him to explore here. And then once he's over there, let's set him to automatically survey. This is good enough for now. I can set my points here, here, and here, probably, and feel pretty comfortable with the amount of space we've got to start with. There's another planet down here. That's the Arctic world we talked about earlier. Unity research came in. Fantastic. And we got that lump sum, which is letting us pop through. How many bleeds blockers? We got 3 of them. Let's just get that out of the way. Starbase upkeep, empire size. Empire size is still under 100, so we're not worried about it. That will matter later, but it doesn't matter at all now. Starbase upkeep won't help much, but it will save us a few tenths of an alloy, maybe.
System surveyed.
Interesting. So this is done now. Begins the precursor bowel chain issue special project. So with the bowel, you have to go in here and actually research the special project in the system every single time in order to find the survey, or rather the archaeological dig that'll be in or near that system. It is what some people call a pain. Let's get him started
New
researching. I
technology
really just want
discovered.
him to be doing archaeological stuff. His skill will go up pretty fast, and 25% survey speed plus 30% survey speed from his skill. It adds up to gaining levels faster and not taking as long to dig through remains. Eventually, we'll find some survey sites that aren't Bale, and we might find some decent stuff in them. Honestly, this is a disappointing precursor chain, in my opinion, but no one asked. All right, let's set him to automatically survey as well. It's lazy, but I just want to start getting these guys to expand out and looking around. All right. Colony development speed plus 50%. That would have been useful a bit earlier. That would have saved us a year on our colonies coming online when we land our colony ships, but that will be very well done before we get there on this planet, and I don't see any other planets that we want to drop onto immediately. This world's going to be another 80%. So let's focus on a little bit of war. These guys won't attack us. They can be bought and paid for to come attack us, and eventually they might decide to raid us just for fun. That's what they do, but for now they're harmless. This is almost done, so let's just get it done.
New technology discovered.
We should have gene clinics now, yes. Get those up on all our planets. 20% energy credits. Yeah, more
System
money,
surveyed.
bigger economy, better.
Construction online.
Colonize planet. Okay. It's number 4. It's not great. It's not bad. We're going to leave this guy here. We're going to bring up another construction ship and move him to down here to start expanding out that way as our ships
Establishing
find
colony.
things. And there's the archaeological site that he was waiting for. He can't actually survey it yet because this needs to be in our space first. So I'm going to set him to survey this and then go back and excavate this site. Also, there's a second site in this place, apparently. Yeah, I had forgotten that we had 2 of them here. That'll be interesting. So, back into our space you go. A veiled passage cut from the fabric of space-time. Blah, blah, blah. On the tunnel's far side is a distant corner of the galaxy. Okay.
Construction online.
It sounds like a wormhole, but I didn't see where it was. All right, let's finish off expansion. Finishing expansion gives us max districts plus 1 per planet, and more importantly, it gets our first ascension perk. We only get 8 of these throughout the run. Some of them are mutually exclusive, most of them being the stuff down here, like you can't both be machines. You know, take the flesh is weak, and engineered evolution, and psionics, and all that all at the same time. But most of them you can end up taking all at once, however you feel. They have pretty significant effects. Lord of War is about mercenary enclaves, which I don't understand. Nihilistic Acquisition is for raiding planets. You can raid planets and steal population from them. That can be pretty useful if you're a slaving empire or if you're the type of empire that eats aliens. Can be nice. Interstellar Dominion just makes it cheaper to expand, and expand fast is a good thing. Technological ascendancy is research speed plus 10%, and you are 50% more likely to find rare techs. It is hard to contest that this is the best, but I've heard some other content creators talk about One Vision with its monthly unity and governing ethics being a little bit, well, close. I don't know. Technological ascendancy is allows you to really start to pile on what your population can do, acts as a multiplier for beating up on the AI. Mastery of Nature lets you clear blockers and increase the number of districts a planet can support by 2. That's every planet, so that is actually very good. Imperial Prerogative, empire size from planets, so if you're going to go a conquering, this can be handy for keeping this number down. We are finally exactly at 100 empire size, so we'll start to see the minor downsides soon. Executive Vigor adds to our Edicts Fund. Our edicts over here, we don't have many of them yet, but the edicts fund is a fund that is available and won't steal from your harmony uh, that you can pay for edicts. So if we wanted to fortify the border, which would increase starbase upgrade speed and our starbase capacity, it'd take 18 harmony a month. But because we have an edicts fund that eats up to 45, it would actually cost us nothing. So let's go ahead and do that. We do still have to pay the initial cost. Blam. Now this number will go up, and the next one that we upgrade from an outpost to a starbase will be twice as fast, and it won't cost us anything. It's pretty excellent. So that's what Imperial Vigor would do for us, or Imperial, not Executive Vigor would do for us, is expand that pool pretty significantly. Transcendent Learning is great if you've got long-lived leaders. This will let them get to higher level faster, and the reason you have long-lived leaders is to get their high-level bonuses longer. Shared Destiny. If you have subjects, this is great. We don't, and we probably won't. I love the technology perk. I'll be taking One Vision next, just because I love Harmony as well. But overall, our technology is starting to move pretty quick. Plus 26%, and we are 14 years into the game. It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Anomaly detected.
Let's get you and create a starbase there. And then we'll move you here because we want a starbase here to secure the archaeological site. We've got a lot of archaeological sites. So that could be good. There are a lot of things that could come out of those, but I don't want to get anybody's hopes up because they tend to not be nice to me. All right. Robot modification points, we can make our robots better, and as much as I would like to get 0G refineries for 10% mining output, and it's very quick, this will always be on the list. If we research this and then come back, this will have shuffled, and we might not be able to get this again. So I'm grabbing this. The first thing I want to be able to do is to build the robots, and then I want to be able to make them cheaper to build. And as far as I know, you have to actually have a robot built to do that. So we're going to get started. We're going to give our home world just a little bit of a head start on creating robotic pops. That's mostly so I can try and remember to switch them off of basic robots by the time the other planets are creating their first robot population. Alright, so this will get a roboticist job, so another job, and that population will create 2 pop assembly for robots. We let the month tick over and we can see that a robot is going to take 55 months to create. It's going to take a while, but we're going to improve that. We're also going to build them everywhere. Robots count as pops, and while at the moment robots can only do worker jobs, that is the lowest tier of jobs, later they'll be able to be droids, which can do specialist jobs, and if you are feeling really brave, you can give them full unshackled AI and they can become rulers, full citizens. Heck, you can even become robots yourself if you want to. Food plus 20% is still high up on my list. There's 4 of these, but we haven't been clearing anything yet. We don't have the money. Let's go with that. All right, let's go ahead and call a break here, and we'll get back to it again in the next video. Thanks, guys.